Ah, ah, ah. Greetings, honourable community. Hello, darlings, and a very warm welcome indeed to where are we? Friday Night Live, isn't it? And yeah, it's the end of the week, and the weekend is upon us. In fact, in 28 minutes, technically, the weekend is going to be here. How has your day been? I hope it's been good. I certainly know Neil and Sophie have been enjoying themselves, as does everybody else in the WhatsApp chat. Um, so, how's your day been? What have you been eating? What have you been up to? And yeah, we're just gonna hang. It's just gonna be a very low key one tonight, darlings. Just you and me hanging out at the end of the day, catching up with each other, discussing our plans for the weekend. Just a nice little, like a chat in front of the fireplace before we head off to our beds and get ready to face up to the weekend. Unless you're overseas, of course, in which case it'll be the other way round, and you'll have just got up, or you're just about to get up, or something like that. It gets awfully complicated, doesn't it? And I'm going to have a good old slurp of wine, darlings, before I do anything else, because because it's wine and I like it, and any other reason needed. Cheers. Your very good health, darlings. Lovely to be here with you. Oh, oh, that's very welcome indeed. Very welcome indeed. Now then, let's crack on with the meat and potatoes of this, shall we? And that, of course, is you fabulous people. Jimmy Mighty Quinn is first cab off the rank tonight, as he so often is. Good evening, Boaty, all. Stratospherean is with us. Good evening, all. The fabulous Peter P. Greetings, honourable pufflings and Boaty. Ah, yes, you wonderful puff, you wonderful pufflings, you lovely component part of this structure that is my fantastic inner scrotum. Uh, Casbar's here. Hello, all. Casbar with you, but only briefly. We're off to see a band called Plastic Kings. Old time heavy metal a la Motorhead and Iron Maiden. Yeah. Well, have a great evening, says Peter P. And I think we all echoes that. Uh, Andrew Buttigieg is here. I have a spotty butty. He says good evening to everybody. Matron's here and says, evening all. I'm on my PC and full side keyboard tonight. So I will not be, oh no, so will be able to fully join in. Last night I was on my phone and I hate typing on that. Well, I feel that pain. I can't type on a portable electric telephone to save my life. iPad is as small as I can go. Uh, Alan Simpson is with us and says, greetings, honourable ones. Martin North is here and says, hi all. And Emma is here, the disintegrating wine bird. Good evening, beautiful boggy things and beautiful Boaty. And a very good evening to you, you wonderfully beautiful, palpable slice of pulchritude. That's a tricky one to get out at 11:30 on a Friday night, darlings. A tricky one indeed. I was, quite honestly, I was pushing it. I was pushing it, going for that. Even as I started that word, I thought, well, you've bitten off more than you can chew here, sunshine, haven't you? Oh, yeah. Now then, now then. Uh, I used to work with the Martin North, says Matron. Have you ever worked near Bromley, Martin North? Tricia is here, the lovely Tricia Alderman. Good evening, Boaty. Good evening to you. Oh, Carl is here, True Crime UK, says evening all. Oh, this is nice. Martin North would not like to make it absolutely clear that at no point has he ever worked with Matron, nor has he ever been known to be in the vicinity of Bromley. Different other chap. Alan was watching the mad breakdancing event in the Olympics today, and that got me thinking, who would win in a breakdancing battle between Boaty and the M11? Well, now, there's a question to ponder, isn't it? And you're not allowed to call it breakdancing anymore, Alan. you have to call it breaking. And the participants of the breaking are known as B-girls and B-boys. It's amazing what you learn from listening to Radio 4, isn't it? Who knew that I would have any facts about breaking at my absolute fingertips? And I can tell you that it is the first time that it is featured in the Olympics, and it may well be the last, because it's kind of making a guest appearance. It's not definitely going to be an ongoing thing. What a weird thought to have, Alan, says Emma. Peter P had schnitzel with, oh, that's a delayed one. Oh, it's just hitting now. Oh, God, and it's hitting hard. That is a strong old winegasm, that is. Oh! 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 Oh, God. Oh! Oh! Oh, that was a proper delayed reaction. Oh, God. Whew. I need a cuddle now and then a cigarette. Oh, that was a cracker. Goodness gracious me. Oh, that was lovely. Oh. Oh. Alan, says Andrew, does Boaty know what breakdancing is? Well, I know that you're not supposed to call it breakdancing, so I obviously know more than you. Breaking wind competition, says Peter P. My money's on Boaty. Oh, dear. And Alan goes on to say, Boaty is certainly good at breaking, especially when the fridge is opened. Boaty for the gold, says Andrew. Oddly enough, says Emma, there wasn't a single winegasm when I was with you, Mr. Bean. Or was it just shit wine? Let's think. Monday night's wine wasn't amazing. Sunday night, though. So, oh, dear me. Oh, lovely. But Sunday night was normal wine, so I don't know why I didn't have one. Maybe it's a solitary thing, or maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's a form of onanism, and in decent society, it's considered poor form to perform that sort of thing in front of an audience, isn't it? Now then, I've got some things to show you, darlings. I've been there has been movement on my whiny, breakfasty idea type thingamy bobbly, and what are the latest movements on that? Let me just show you. Now, this, darlings, this is a super duper non-stick frying pan. 20 times more non-stick than a usual one, apparently. There you go. And I thought this would be jolly good for eggs. Now then, this was on an incredible offer in Sainsbury's. It was reduced from some ridiculous price down to £7.50. But I didn't have £7.50, so I shoplifted it. What else have I got to show you? Ah, yes. The green triffid for the outside table. Look at that. Isn't that absolutely splendid? I'll probably kill it putting it outside. I think it's an indoor thing, but hey ho. What else was there? Well, that was it, really. That was it. I still need to organise butter. They didn't have the butter of choice. I might have to compromise on that. And I need to organise sausages. and I might need to buy a tomato. Otherwise, what else? Oh, yeah. Thanks to good old online and stuff like that, I've got a replica of the Zava ashtray coming. You know, they're only like 49p, those bloody glassy, roundy ones, but I didn't have one, and now I will have, so that's good. Oh, and what I'm really pleased with, now this isn't a Carver thing. This is like a hotel thing, specifically a Dolmen Resort hotel thing. I suddenly realized, darlings, that I didn't have any like breakfast glasses. You know, when you're at a hotel and they have like a buffet, help yourself breakfasty thing. I'm thinking of the Dolmen Resort in Malta, which is where I've had more breakfast than anywhere else. But you know, the sort of glass you get for your juice, and one of those, like a glass that's that tall or something. I haven't got one. I haven't got any glasses like that at all. I've got some wine glasses, I've got beer glasses, I've got champagne flutes, I've got my tall, whatever you call them, glasses that I have me Vimto in and that live in the freezer, so they've got a bit of ice in them. But I didn't have a morning juice glass, so I looked for one in Sainsbury's, and again, uh, reduced to clear, darlings, 94 pence each. 94 pence each. And look at those. Those are exactly the sort of thing that you get at a hotel buffet. I'm delighted with those, 94p. And so I bought two of them because, well, you know, you might want a glass of juice when you come to stay here. And now you can have a glass of juice in this. Well, I'm so pleased with these. I mean, 94 pence, so that's £1.88 for these two. I can't remember when £1.88 brought me this much joy. Certainly at Mrs. Miggins' knocking shop, you wouldn't get much for £1.88. Yeah, so things are continuing apace, and I've made a change to my outside table, darlings. I've got, or well, yeah, I've still kind of got it. A very expensive, what do you call it? Table umbrella, parasol type thing. One of those proper expensive ones. Obviously, I bought it many, many years ago when I wasn't poor. But the point is, I bought it many, many years ago, and it looks a bit shoddy and rubbish and whatnot. So tonight I thought, well, you know, I'll get rid of it. I'll get rid of it partly because it looks a bit shoddy and moldy and crappy, and also because if I get rid of that, then the center of the table becomes available. It hasn't got a pole through it, and this is where my crazy mind goes. Right, I'm planning my breakfast table, and I'm thinking, well, where am I going to put the plant? Why do I want a plant on there? Because Carver had one. I think theirs was not real. But I'm thinking, where am I going to put it? And then I'm thinking, well, I'm going to have to get two and put them either side of the bayonet pole parasol thingy. Um, Otherwise, it won't be symmetric. But I thought, well, if I get rid of that, then I can put that, the triffid, that can go like absolutely bang center. And that means I won't have to buy two of them or lose sleep because of my silly OCD, because the table isn't absolutely symmetric. So yeah, so that. But then the parasol thing, I can't remember how you take it apart. So it's all in one piece, and it's about 16 feet long, and I don't know how the hell I'm going to get rid of it. Um, I need to speak nicely to Nikki Nunu and see if she'll use her electric sorry choppy thing to chop it up so I can fit it in my black bin. I threw the canopy bit away. I managed to get that off all of the wooden bit. It's a shame, really. I mean, well, it was a lovely thing about 10 years ago. You know, it's a bit like me. It was lovely 10 years ago. Now, quite frankly, it's past it, and an eyesore for the neighbours, just like me. But yeah, so breakfast plans are kind of moving on rather nicely. And I've got two items Now I've got 3 items arriving tomorrow. Just little cheapies off the web, silly little things that will please me immensely. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, I'm gonna have to do this now. Bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh dear. Oh, I've got a funny feeling. Yeah, I had a feeling that the fridge door was going to do that when I opened it. Just checking to see I've got enough wine for tonight, darlings. I think we should be okay. Oh, that's better. Honestly, that door is a liability. You guys probably won't have noticed this, or maybe the microphone doesn't pick it up at all. But to me, it sounded exactly like somebody breaking wind. Which is a very uncouth thing, I know. Oh, there was something else I bought. Look, darlings. Nice eggy wedges. Now, I'm not the worst cook in the world. I'm a long way from being the best, but I'm not the absolute worst. I'm a better cook than my ex-wife for a start. And Boo, I'm a better cook than Boo. I'm definitely a better cook than Bernard. Definitely a better cook than Lisa. Lisa would have starved to death if it wasn't for the. I think that's why. Well, Lisa had an au pair before I met her, and I think that's why she had them, not to feed the children, but to feed her. She'd have bloody starved to death if it wasn't for the au pair. The au pair is supposed to cook for the kid, bloody well cook for Lisa as well, because oh God Almighty! All the time we were together, I've got a picture of it somewhere. Well, actually, I know exactly where it is, but I can't be asked to go and get it. Remind me, and I will show you. I might put it on Facebook. I'll put it in the Facebook group. The one and only meal that Lisa ever made me. Bloody hell, you've never seen anything like it. Terrifying. That was why I took a picture of it, because I was so shocked and stunned. And that was in the days when taking a picture was a real investment. It's not like now where you just whip your phone out and bosh and stick it on social media. When Lisa and I were together, then taking a photograph meant pulling out a real camera with film in it, taking your picture, and then sending the film off to Dan Spielman or whatever he was called, or taking it into Boots the Chemist. And or who remembers that? God, photography used to be a lot more involved. Honestly, you forget now just how much of a faff it was because you're so used to the things we've got today. What was I talking about then? Oh yeah, not being the worst cook in the world. But one thing I struggle with, eggs. Everything else that I like, I've become quite reasonably adept at making. I can cook a steak, I can make a Sunday roast, I can make a chili or a spag bowl, I can make Chinese dishes, I can make Nepali dishes now. But the one thing I really struggle with is eggs and breakfast things generally, really. So I'm going to have to learn how to cook an egg properly because, it's invariably a disaster when I try and cook an egg. And one of the things that's arriving tomorrow is something that I hope is going to help in my pursuit of cooking an egg. I have purchased some egg rings, very, very cheap ones off Amazon, a couple of quid. But hopefully they will improve my egg-related performance. At least they'll look better. Because I don't know how to control an egg. How do you control an egg? They just go in every bloody which way but loose. So, it makes sense to imprison them while you're cooking them to death. So basically, that's what I bought. I bought two circular egg prisons. So yeah, so they'll arrive in tomorrow. The ashtray or ash trays, darlings, because they were only a few pence. I bought two. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, that was the wine, but darlings, I bought two of them, and again, that is for reasons of symmetry. The table's got to be symmetrical. I'm sure you would agree with me. Now, when you're actually using the table, it doesn't have to be symmetrical. You can have sauce on there. You can have whatever. But when the table is just laid out ready, it needs to be symmetrical. So I'm thinking, okay, so now I've got rid of my parasol. I've got my Triffid absolutely center, and I can make sure it's center. It won't be on the wonk, because there's a hole for the umbrella to go through. So you just place it over the hole, basically, don't you? And you're going to be spot on. But then, obviously, the question is then, where do you put the ashtray? Because it's not going to be symmetrical. Whereas if you've got two, then you can have them either side of the pot, and then it's symmetrical again, isn't it? And it's not unreasonable, because it's a reasonably large table, and two people sitting at either end, if they both happen to be smokers, they wouldn't be able to share an ashtray. So having two ashtrays on there seems perfectly reasonable to me. And that is what I will tell the ashtray police if and when they come around. So there we are. So that's all good. It's all looking promising, isn't it? And I'm looking forward to at least one very exciting breakfast experience before either the weather's never good enough again, or I just get bored with the whole idea. I might need to go to Safeway, because if memory serves, they didn't have them in Safeway in Sainsbury's. I did look, but if memory serves, in Safeway, they do those tiny little jars of jams and marmalades. They used to, anyway. They definitely used to. And that would be nice on a breakfast table, wouldn't it? A tiny little, like, individual jar of marmalade or jam. Um, they used to be about like 30p or something like that. I bought them before. But there's no guarantee that they'll still be there, because in my mind, I bought them last week, but it's probably about 9 years ago. So, but it's worth a look, isn't it? Except that would mean having to go to Safeways, and that would mean having to go to the edge of town. And that would mean that, well, I suppose I could make a video out of it, couldn't I? In search of a tiny marmalade pot. I mean, the Frey Bentos pie did good views, so in search of a tiny marmalade pot, why wouldn't that do well? There we are. Oh, and it is now the 9th of August, which means that it is only, let me work this out, 18 days until I can reapply for doing YouTube partnership, and we can have channel members again and all good things, and I can make you watch adverts and shout at you to leave the knob alone and that sort of thing. Counting the bloody days, darlings. It seems like forever. Anyway, let's get back to some comments, shall we? Now then, where did I get to? Oh yeah, that's right. We were discussing the lack of winegasms when Emma was with me. Boat dance to. We're gonna boat dance to Electric Boogaloo. The Portaloo Boogaloo, says Peter P. Andrew came up with the original. Peter P offered an alternative. Alan says, I don't remember Oddbins having tasting notes that said, you'll need a cigarette and a cuddle after this one. Maybe they'd still be in business if they had done. Yeah, maybe they would. You'll need a cigarette and a cuddle after this one. It's true, though. It's true. I genuinely needed a cigarette and a cuddle after that first glass of wine. I've got a feeling, darlings, and I know this has been going on for months and months. I've got a feeling tonight could be the night that Mr. Tuth decides to part company. I mean, God knows how it's clinging on there. Certainly, I would be amazed if Mr. Tuth is still in residence by the time Monday comes and I head with a co-pilot to the Yard of Dreams. I imagine that, in fact, I would bet that I will be starting next week one, I was going to say one tooth down, but one more tooth down. When we get to the point where I start counting how many I've got left rather than how many I've lost, we'll have a nice party, darlings. Probably with soup or something that doesn't require much biting or chewing. Oh dear God. I tell you what, getting old is tough, but it's still better than the alternative, isn't it? Giving thanks for all things always. That's the way. I enjoyed that comment, Alan. Thank you very much. I might read it again. Oh dear. That would be the ultimate wine note, wouldn't it? You'll need a cigarette and a cuddle after this one. Oh dear. The new spank pan, says Andrew, non-stick for your convenience. Plans for the freshly squeezed juice for Emma? Asked Peter P. No, I don't have any plan. Oh, actually, I do have plans for freshly squeezed juice. It's not something I could ever be asked to do, but Ram has got a machine and he's going mad with it. And he's buying up all of the fruit from his local market at the end of the day. So he's buying like 5,000 oranges for £3 or something ridiculous. And Ram's on a health kick at the moment, so he's running 10 kilometers a day or more. And he's having this freshly squeezed juice with his family every morning. But what they're doing is they're putting everything in there and making this combined juice that looks absolutely fucking awful. I mean, there's every fruit in there known to man, with beetroot and carrot and whatever else they can lay their bloody hands on. It looks foul. And he asked me if I'd like some. And I said, you know, with all due respect, that I'd rather be buggered by Brian Blessed. Not sure he understood that reference entirely. But he has offered to bring me some freshly squeezed orange and or apple juice. So there might be freshly squeezed juice available for the Emma and Boaty do breakfast experience at the beginning of the week. You never know. But I always have decent apple juice in the non-farting fridge. You know, the well-behaved fridge. The Chinese madam fridge that I had to, oh God, I won't tell you the Chinese madam fridge story again. You've heard it a million times. But I do like a bit of juice, and this is what I have in the fridge. And really, if I was going to do the full hotel experience, then I should have some really shitty juice in there that's half juice and half water. Because God knows that's what you get in those machines in the bloody hotels, isn't it? When you have your buffet breakfast. Oh, the Dolmen Resort buffet breakfast. And I'll never have another one, darlings. My favourite hotel in Malta, which was one of my top 5 hotels in the world. It is no more. Who knew that the last time I went to Malta, that would be my last visit to that hotel? I thought I'd be going there all of my life. Now, the hotel is still there, but it's no longer the Dolmen Resort Hotel. It is now an Apple Tree by Hilton, or the other way round or something. And I haven't looked at the website or anything, but I suspect that it's going to be a damn sight more expensive than it used to be. Oh, what about the Oracle Casino? Now, the Oracle Casino, where I used to do rather well, and that, of course, was where the waitress with the arse was. That that was one of the waitress with the arse was like the best thing about Malta. Certainly after they got rid of the buses, the old school buses, the waitress with the arse was something to behold. I mean, you might have gone to the Azure window on Gozo, or you might have marvelled at the beheading of St. John the Baptist in St. Paul's Cathedral in Valletta, but that was nothing compared to the waitress with the arse. My God. Even Maggie said, that's a hell of an arse. Oh, God, it was wonderful. Oh, I wonder if if you've got an arse like that, do you know about it? Because, all right, people are going to say to you, God, you've got an incredible arse. But you can't take that at face value necessarily, can you? Because, the people telling you you've got an incredible arse are going to be men, probably. And you're just going to think, well, yeah, they're just saying that because they want to get into my pants. It might not be a sincere compliment. I suppose if a woman said to you, hello, my lovely, you don't know me, but I was walking behind you and I'm straight. This is my husband here. His name's Peter. Shake a hand, Peter. Tell her you're pleased to meet her. I just wanted to tell you, I was walking behind you and you have got the most incredible arse that I've ever seen in my life. And I thought you might not know that because you probably don't regularly inspect your own arse. And you might think that if a man tells you that you've got an incredible arse, you might think, well, my arse is probably okay, but he's probably just trying to get into my pants. So I thought that I, as a straight married woman, Peter, stop looking at her arse, please. Thank you. I thought that if I, as a straight married woman, told you that you had the most incredible arse that I've ever seen, you might give that more credence and you might be aware of it because you should be. You have been blessed with something utterly remarkable and you should feel proud and take some pleasure from that. But then where would the waitress with the arse go with that? That's an interesting one, isn't it? Would it change her life? Feature number 3, darlings. Would it change your life if you suddenly discovered that you had the world's most incredible arse? I mean, what would you do? I suppose in this day and age, you know, you'd wear a bikini or those legging things that leave absolutely nothing to the imagination, and make TikTok videos with your incredible arse and make a lot of money out of it, wouldn't you? I suppose you would. That's quite sad in a way. You know, it would be nice if you just had an incredible arse and it was just a gift to you and a gift to the world, and you just walked around with it. But in this day and age, you're going to commercialize it, aren't you? And probably have merch and that sort of thing. And that's a shame. That's a shame. The innocence of the incredible arse has probably just melted away into oblivion. And there's the title for tonight's live stream: the the innocence of an incredible arse. Write that down, please, somebody. I'll write it down. I can go into chat, can't I? The innocence of an incredible arse. There we are. That's done. Now then, let's get back to some comments. Where did I get to? Oh, I got to there, didn't I? Oh, matron, the pan of self spankings, mandingos. God. Right. Have you guys started watching Blot? Because I keep mentioning him. Or are we all just using his phrases now, whether we've watched his videos or not? I mean, I'm now upset. I can't say footage anymore. It has to be footage and Nicki Minaj. It's going to be a bit weird if we're all using blottisms and not all of us have watched him. I mean, it's worth watching one of his videos for the novelty. But to be honest, unless you particularly enjoy watching middle-aged men get so drunk they can't talk, then once you've seen one, you've seen them all because they're kind of formulaic. But hey, you know, he makes a really good living out of it, and he's got a really loyal, massive following. So it obviously works. And yeah. Oh dear. This is the most meticulously planned breakfast that's ever been meticulously planned, says Emma. I do this sort of thing, and then I end up not doing it, or I do it badly, or it's just a total disaster. I like obsessing over things. I rather enjoy it. You know this, Emma. I obsessed over where we should eat. You know how much I obsessed over where we should eat in Flanders. And what happened? We went wherever we could, and it was amazing. So this is what I do. I take pleasure from overthinking and over planning things, and then I just go with the flow, or do something different, or make a complete pig's breakfast of all of it. It's I enjoy the planning of things, not necessarily the actuality of it. It's weirdly enough, then it's the same thing with business. All of my life, the the elements of business that I've loved have been the planning and the setting up. And once the business is up and running nicely, I completely lose interest in it, and I want to go and do something else, which is bizarre, but it's the challenge that I enjoy, and that's been true all of my life. That's why I travelled when I was in my thirties, because I'd set up three companies, and against I love the challenge of setting up a business that shouldn't work. I love to be given something that shouldn't work, can't work, and I'll find a way to make it work. But once it's working and doing, then I've got no interest in that. There's no bloody challenge, is there? And that was why I went traveling, because I set up these businesses. They were doing really well. Um, I really wasn't needed. So after that first thing to America, I thought, fuck it, I'll just bugger off and have a gad about the world and see what happens. And I'm still the same now. It's the planning and the setting up that really floats my boat. The actuality is even a thing with a day out. The thing with a day out or a holiday or whatever you want to say, right? A day out, it, however much you enjoy it, it's a day. It's just a day. And when it's gone, it's gone. Yeah, you'll have memories, but when it's gone, it's gone. Whereas the planning of a day out, well, that could last for 6 months, 6 months of pleasure. And 6 months, for those of you who are mathematically challenged, is longer than one day, quite a lot longer. So, why miss out on 6 months worth of absolute sheer pleasure? You'd have to be absolutely mad. So it's not me that's mad, it's you. But yeah, it is a meticulously planned breakfast, and I'll either oversleep or I'll bugger it up, or we'll just decide to have, I don't know, some chocolate buttons instead or something. But hey, I'm enjoying the planning, and that's what it's all about. Alan says maybe you should keep the parasol as an alternative to Melanie Minchbag's hood, the high level soft top. Oh, that's a fun idea. Matron is clipping the fridge door opening. That's next week's Squeak of the Week winner. Peter P says, Emma, did Boaty eat his fried egg at Carver? And Emma says, only the yolk, obviously. Weirdo. That's not weird. If you eat the white of the egg, you're weird. It's basically a placenta, right? So don't tell me that eating a placenta is normal. Did somebody accidentally pull Boaty's finger when he was rummaging in the fridge? My gran always said, says Peter P, the yolk is rooster pea. Dear. Emma would advise trimming the stalks down a little on those flowers. I did think that when I put them in there. I thought, yeah, I haven't cut those short enough. Well, I'll do that now. I did think that. I did think when I put them in there, I thought, yeah, no, not quite. Yeah, that's better. That is better, actually. They look much better and much happier. There we are. Ooh. Ooh. I don't think those are going to make it. Never mind. Oh, excuse me. How rude. No need for that, really, is there? Now, those are the flowers, darlings, that lasted for weeks and weeks and weeks last time. And they haven't been back in the shop since. Tonight was the first time I've seen them. And they weren't expensive. They were £2.29p, I think. And I had a couple of nice tips tonight. So when I had to go out at 9:45, just before the shop closed, I just nipped in on the off chance, had a look, and sure enough, they had some. So yeah, fingers crossed that these do as well as the last lot, and they're the right colour, obviously, and they do look better now they've been cut down a bit, don't they? Yes, definitely. And they add something to the table, don't they? I love having fresh flowers. My flowers from Neil and Sophie are still, yeah, they're still just yeah, they're alive and vibrant over there on the old windowsill. Ah, Mr. Stephen Paddy from Port Sunlight and the Wirral, the Leisure Peninsula, says, how are you today, dear sir? And what a splendid video from wonderful Emma yet again. Very professional. Very professional sausage roll. I thought that's it. But yeah, I've not sat and watched it properly, but I've dipped in and out of Emma's, and it did look very well done, to be fair. Very well done indeed. So do check out the Disinterested Car Girl channel. Emma, pop a link to your channel in. There's a dear, just in case anybody doesn't know it yet. And check out the latest video. It's part 2 of 24. And it's quite an exciting part because we make it to the well, it begins when we're on top of the Great Orme. But I'll tell you what I will take from home this video. I seriously need to go on a diet. I had no idea that I'd got so fat. My God, terrifyingly fat. I look like Jeremy Clarkson, and not in a good way. So I said, and it's my lunches. I've got into the habit of eating too much for lunch, darlings. Breakfast, not a problem. Black coffee, small glass of juice, cigarette, one slice of toast. Supper, not a problem. Staff curry, boiled steamed white rice, half a roti. Lunch, problem, and a bit of grazing at the restaurant. I need to get my lunches back down to being very, very, very minimal. I was horrified at how fat I am. Horrendous. Somehow you don't seem to notice it when you're just arsing about on your own in the house. You know, your clothes still fit you. And you think everything's all right, but no, I'm horribly, horribly fat. I'm a big fat munter. And what I need to do, actually, I've got some electronic scales that I bought secondhand off Facebook Marketplace about 12 or 13 years ago when I started working at Sainsbury's and thought, hello, I think I'm losing weight. So I bought some scales, and I lost 6 stone in 4 or 5 months, something like that, which I would never have known if I didn't have the scales. But then the battery ran out on the scales, and I've never replaced it. So I should replace the battery on the scales so I can see. I mean, I know how fat I am. There are videos up there. But if I can actually see how heavy I am, then that will, my OCD will kick in then, and I'll be absolutely working on getting the weight down. I don't, generally speaking, I've never had a problem losing weight if I want to. It's just that you need something to tell you that, hey, you fat bastard, you need to lose some weight. This hole here is bigger than that hole there, and that's the bleeding problem. Put your knife and fork down a bit more often. So yeah, I should do that. I'll put a new battery in the scales, darlings. I assume they still work. Well, we'll find out when I get a battery, won't we? Anyway, Mr. Stephen Paddy from Wilson, not in the Will. Right, sausage roll for my afternoon dinner. Evening meal was crumbling sausage. Not sure what that is. With potatoes and beans. Oh, that sounds good. All this effort for breakfast is royalty popping around for brekkie, asks Emma. Well, I'll be there. And quite frankly, darlings, I'm worth it. And so are all of you. Don't ever question yourself for making a real effort, right? Doesn't matter who's popping around. If nobody's popping around, then you are worth it. So whether that means making a real effort for a breakfast, or making a real effort for an evening meal, or a lunch, or going on a nice day out, or making a nice bath with foamy stuff and candles, or lighting a candle on the table, or spending £2 on some flowers, you're worth it. You don't need royalty to pop around. You are worth it. Do it for you. Yeah, do it for you first, and if other people benefit from it as well, then that's great. But do it for you, because honestly, you're worth it. You are worth your own effort. Never, ever forget that. Or I'll come round and sit on your head. Thank you, Mr. Paddy, sir, says Emma. Still 22 more videos to go. One tomorrow, one on Sunday, and then the next 20 whenever I can fit them in. You got bloody hell, you're going to be falling behind, aren't you? Because you're going to be making more footage, Nicki Minaj, next week, aren't you? Now, I've not put a video up, darlings. I got Daily Diary footage, Nicki Minaj, on Thursday. I planned to put a video up. I decided deliberately not to. Partly because it wasn't great. It was just a day where not much happened. I made chow mein. I filmed that. I filmed some stuff in the garden. I filmed some stuff on the way to work. I talked about some things, and I just thought, no, this isn't brilliant. It's not brilliant. I would have bunged it up, except that I wanted to make sure that I did the lives this weekend because I didn't do them last weekend. But I do need time to sort things out, and I need some rest and whatnot. So I thought, well, I won't do the daily diary vids. I'll give people a chance to catch up on the videos that they might not have seen, blah, blah, blah. And I'll do the lives instead. So there's not going to be a daily diary video until probably Wednesday, because we're going to be busy. I'm not going to do any Saturday or Sunday. I'll do them Monday and Tuesday, obviously, but Monday and Tuesday I'm going to be busy. So my first editing day is going to be Wednesday. So you're not going to see a daily diary until Wednesday, darlings. But, there's still going to be live streams every night. So it's not like we're not going to be hanging out together. But the other thing that I'm finally getting my head around doing is the website. I've been looking at Sean's website. Excuse me. I've been looking at Sean's website, and I've got a bit of inspiration, and I've had some ideas, and I'm starting to get a bit excited about it. So possibly until I'm remonetized, I've got, how long have I got? I told you, what was it, 19 days, something like that? 18 days, 17 days, whatever it was. But I've got 2 weeks, a bit over 2 weeks before I get remonetized. So I thought this is the time when I should build the website. I've been promising to do it for a year or more. I've owned the domain name, boatysworld.co.uk or .com, can't remember which. I've owned that for a year or more. And it's time I just built the website, and I've got ideas for it now. So not everybody uses YouTube, do they? Or not everybody uses it habitually. If there's a website up there, I'll put all of the videos, I'll embed the YouTube videos onto the website. So they're all there to be viewed, and you can view them on the website. But even though you're viewing them on the website, you're actually going to be viewing them on YouTube. So it will still count as YouTube views and income and all of that sort of thing. And I thought things like, if you're new to the channel, you're not necessarily going to know anything about me, and you're not going to know the fleet and the stories behind everything. So if I build a website, then there can be pages for each member of the fleet with the stories behind them and pictures and adventures. There can be explanations of my collaborations with Mustard and tell the story about how Mustard and I met. There can be the same with Emma and with Matron and all sorts of stuff like that. Why I'm called Boaty, all of the questions that keep coming up. I can just say, well, go and look at the website, and I can put merch on there as well without going through a third-party store and giving all of the money away. So it seems like this is the perfect time to do it. So if I kick back a little bit on the daily diaries, and rather than slavishly putting them up every day, even if it's just me driving to work or something again, and you lovely people watch it out of loyalty, but you must be bored stiff. If I only put them up when something happens, like Athlan did though, like Monday and Tuesday of next week, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the week after, put them up then, and the rest of the time during the day, if I don't do a live stream at night, I just vegetate. It's probably something I need, and when I say veg, I don't mean I sit on the sofa and look at the telly. I don't have a telly. I never sit on the sofa. I mean that I potter around the kitchen, I dust, I tidy, I do this, that, and the other, which is good. It needs to be done. But what I don't do is build websites. I get ideas for building websites. I'm at my most creative after midnight. Midnight to 3 a.m. is when I get all of my best ideas. But in terms of putting them into action, well, that needs daytime. So if there are days when I'm not doing a daily diary, then I can settle myself into my little office space and I can work on getting the website done. So that is my thinking at the moment, that by the time remonetization, hopefully, wine burp, by the time that remonetization finally occurs, then let's have a bit of a clean sweep. Let's have the website up and running. Let's have the new channel memberships, the new tiers, all of that sort of thing. And let's try and hit the ground running, shall we? Now, the website is obviously going to incur a cost, but I've thought of a way around that. It's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money. It's a tiny amount of money, really, relatively. But you know my situation. A tiny amount of money is a big deal to me. But I've still got my singles website is still up and is costing me about £16 a month, something like that. So what I thought I'd do is um, I will incorporate the singles website and charity stuff into the Boaty's world, right? And then I'm still only going to be paying the same amount per month. Yeah, up here for thinking, down there for dancing, middle for diddle. So yeah, so it won't cost me any more. It'll just take me the time and work of building the website, and I'll incorporate the UK singles community into Boaty's world, which is perfectly appropriate to do because it is, you know, it's part of my world. It's a massive part of me. So yeah, that is the plan, and we can get that done over the next couple of weeks, hopefully, and that will be a jolly worthwhile thing, I think. And it'll mean that all of this time when I'm not monetized, some of it will have been spent productively. Now then. Hello to the second orgasm, sister, says Mr. Stephen Paddy. Hi, everyone. Hope you've all had a nice day. And mine has not been too bad, thank you. Who is the first sister and who's the second, asks Emma. Matron says, you're first, Emma, because he said hi to me second. But Mr. Paddy says it's a close call between you and your sister. I've got to say you're the first. Oh, well, there you are. Emma says, I once told my dad I wanted a nice little rack to hold a couple of jams for my breakfast table. So for Christmas, he gave me 9 jars of molded jam in a massive wicker tub. Oh dear. I might go to Safeways in search of those little pots of marmalade, darlings. I remember having them before. Or what would be more sensible, I'll look online to see if they still sell them. And if they do, I might drag my ass down to Safeways tomorrow and buy them for the future breakfast experiences. So I don't mind a bit of marmalade once in a blue moon, but it's like chocolate. I fancy it once a year. But if you've got the little, almost individual jars, then once a year is fine. And they look cool on the table. Oh dear. Give Mr. Tooth a wiggle and a gentle pull, see if he budges, or I'll have a go on Monday, says Matron. Oh, and Emma's going to hold me down. Now, it'll come when it comes. It'll come when it comes. Poor but and then Emma and Matron are talking about what they're going to do to me here in my own home and in the caravan. And quite rightly, Andrew says, poor Boaty is not going to know what's hit him. Yeah, I'm not. I'm tying the tooth to the lock-up door and waiting for the wind to catch it. Oh, bloody hell. I would love to have a nice bum, says Emma. The ex-Mr. Lemon offered to buy me one if I didn't leave him. I was tempted. What, can you buy a nice bum? How does that work? Oh, thank you, matron. The innocence of an incredible arse. Stephen Beatty says, my wife has an incredible arse. Me. I'm sure a lot of women would. Um, I'm sure a lot of women would identify with that. Emma says, I enjoy watching middle-aged men get drunk. That's why I visit you, Mr. B. Well, I deserve that, don't I? Ken Bemp says, what do you keep slinking off camera to go and do? Smoke, Ken. I don't like to smoke on camera, but I do this live stream when I get through the door from work. I'm massively nicotine deprived, so I nip off every now and then for a quick puff, and I'm going to do exactly that right now. And on that note, I see that it's gone midnight, darlings, and it's time we started saying our good nights because you've got beds to go to, I've got a bed to go to, I've got staff curry to eat, which I'm very much looking forward to tonight. I'm quite peckish tonight, I won't lie to you, and I've got plans to make involving marmalade and ashtrays tomorrow. God, it's an exciting life, isn't it? And I hope you're well, I was going to say excited by, but of course you won't be. Why would you? I hope you're not dreading too much the first episode in the Emma and Boaty Do Breakfast series, where I get up late, oversleep, I'm miserable as hell, and say, fuck breakfast, I'm not doing it. We'll have a slice of toast. Or actually, oh God. No, don't go there. I was going to talk about the peppered steak slice for breakfast, but no. Oh dear. Oh, Holly's here. Sorry I'm late, she says. Better late than never, my lovely. Oh, and Simone is here and is latest too. I've seen what Boaty does off camera, Ken Bem, says Emma. You really don't want to know. I don't always do that. Emma has seen certain things here at Windy Bottom, my cottage in the Peak District National Park, up here on the moors in the arse end of nowhere. And yeah, it's oh dear. I'm not always getting naked. Oh, Holly saying hello, everyone. I love meticulous planning, says Matron. I get weeks or months of joy planning a short break, a day out, or a holiday. TripAdvisor is my Bibli, or Bible, if you prefer. And don't even get me started on Google Maps. Well, you see, I prefer Ordnance Survey. I love a paper map. But there we are. Oh, he's such a good boy, doing as I tell him, says Emma, re-trimming the flowers. Look at him, straight on it. Of course, you've got him trained there, Emma says to me. I'm a good boy. I obey orders. Well, I obey orders if they come from women. If a man gives me an order, I'll tell him to get fucked. If a woman tells me to do something, then I'll do it because I'm a very sensible chap and therefore I live in fear of women, which all sensible chaps do. Stephen Beatty says, once the yolk has been surgically removed and eaten, the white then becomes a perfect little ashtray. Oh, what a good shout. It could have waited, Boaty, says Emma, but yeah, that is much better though. It is much better, isn't it? You were right. It needed doing. And it fits on the old camera picture thingy now. Did I hear Boaty light a cigarette, says Holly. Well, almost certainly. Almost certainly. Mm. uh, what Emma wants, Emma gets, says Peter P. Holly's interested to know what I do off camera and is asking Emma exactly that. And Ken Bempey saying the people want to know. And Emma replies, all I'm saying is that there are bottom squeaks and swinging moves in that kitchen. I'd have put money on it just being a spliff, says Ken Bemp. No, not me, I'm afraid. I'm rather dull. Alcohol, yes. I love a glass of wine. Cigarettes, absolutely. Anything else? No, never have, never will. I'm the Grange Hill generation, darlings. Just say no, and I always have. Uh, I had a Goodfellas Friday vegetable pasta microwave meal for a late lunch, says Holly, and I'll have sandwich bread sandwiches soon. Others, or have you said before I got here? Uh, Emma says, let's have a weight loss contest, Boaty. See who can lose the most weight. Well, you're on, and you'll lose. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, no, sorry, that I'm supposed to encourage you, aren't I? You're on. Let's both improve our lives and health. What a good idea. Yeah, I'm totally up for that. Totally up for that. Although, to be fair, you have a slight advantage because you have IBS. Simone's after bed. Holly says, Boaty doesn't smoke spliffs, does he? No, I absolutely don't. I think he only smokes cigarettes. Costly they are nowadays, right rip-off. Not if you smoke smuggled ones that are duty-free, smuggled in by wonderful acquaintances. If I had to pay full price for cigarettes, then I wouldn't smoke. I've got no idea what a packet of cigarettes costs these days. I haven't bought one. Haven't bought a packet of cigarettes for a normal packet for I don't know, 15 years, something like that. But they're going to be what? What are they now? 11, 12, 13, 14 quid, something like that. Sod that. Who the hell can afford that? I certainly can't. Duty frees are the way forward, darlings. I'm struggling to lose weight since I started visiting you, Boaty, says Emma. Oh, yeah, it's my fault. After the summer holidays, I'm going to get back to serious efforts in that department. Well, you don't do badly when you're with me. Trying to think where we've been. I mean, Momo are fine. There's not a problem. Not a problem with that. All right, yeah, bacon sandwiches. I suppose that's not very good. And Emma says, no, Boaty isn't a pothead. He's a good boy. I am a good boy. I think when Boaty goes off camera, he reaches for his big black pudding and practices the Stephen Beatty, this is brilliant. I think when Boaty goes off camera, he reaches for his big black pudding and practices the moves of the Lancastrian martial art of Eki Thump. Oh dear. Holly's suggesting that we should cut down on sugar and carbs and do the keto diet together. Press that like button, you filthy animal, says Stephen Beatty, and I would greatly appreciate it if you would. That would be very nice indeed. Holly's asking Emma if she smokes. No, she doesn't, and she never has. I feel guilty smoking a cigarette, says Holly. Wish I didn't. Oh, Sherry's here. Gotta be me. How long do you last on one piece of toast, black coffee, and juice? I left a comment after your stream ended yesterday. I know, and I replied to it, my lovely. And my one piece of toast, my black coffee and juice keeps me going happily until lunchtime. And now it really is time to go. It's 20 to 1, darlings. Oh my goodness gracious me. B&M does those little jars of jam, etc., says Emma. I know you won't want to go there though. I bloody don't. I mean, that's no, no, no. That's right into town. At least Safeways is only on the edge at the bottom of the hill. Um, well, I'll tell you what. I'll have a look on the old interwebs tomorrow morning. See where I need to go to get them. You'll have a job getting into Safeway. They shut in 2005, says Ken. Well, my local one is still open, I think, so that should be okay. Nice bum. Ask Neil. He knows a good shop. Oh dear. Oh gosh, and now we're trying to get into Holly's issue with the chat in the live stream. Oh God, it's too late to go into that. It's too late to go into that, but we need to, as a community, darlings, we need to try and figure out what's going on with the comments for Holly. I can't quite get my head around it. He obeys orders if they come from women, eh? Interesting, says Emma, stroking her chin in a Bond villain type way. I love a paper map, says Matron, but you can't do a virtual walk or drive around it. Um, Mr. Stephen Paddy is saying that if Emma doesn't get a full English breakfast, he thinks she's going to knock me out with a left hook. And Emma says, I'll physically drag him out of bed. The way this breakfast has been hyped up, I'm not going without it. I'm not hyping it up. I'm planning. I'm telling you, it will almost certainly be a total disaster. But I'm just enjoying the planning stages. I mean, there'll be a nice triffid, and the table will be symmetrical, and there'll be nice juice glasses, and you know, God, how's this going to go? How's this going to go? I plan things like this breakfast when I'm full of piss and vinegar. It's like I've got half a bottle of wine inside me and everything seems possible and easy. The breakfast has to be done when I'm sleep deprived, grumpy, probably overslept, probably hungover. Oh, that's life, innit? But there will be, I guarantee you, it might be a disaster and that'll make it more fun to watch. But there will be an Emma and Boaty do breakfast video next week and the week after, and possibly the week after that. Holly, I've got loads of bog rolls. I don't know why she brings any. She told me at the first visit to stock up on bog rolls by more than I think I could ever need. I've got 5 upstairs already. There are 4 there that I've bought tonight. But so there's really no need to bring any. I'm a considerate host. I cater to my guests' needs, be that bug roll or little things of marmalade or whatever. Right, that's it. I've caught up with the comments, darlings. I've had to skim over the last few, but it's awfully late. It's 1:15. I feel guilty at keeping you up so late. And on a more selfish note, I would quite like to go and uh, get myself around some curry. But it's been wonderful tonight. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, each and every one of you. I'm so grateful to you for giving up your time in this kind way. Thank you to those of you who tickled the like button as well. Now then, I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, 11:30, Saturday Night Live, here at Windy Bum in the old Peak District National Park in my 700-year-old damp and drafty cottage. And I can't wait to see you again tomorrow. So please have a safe and peaceful night. Have the best day that you can tomorrow. Have a fantastic weekend. Not all of you will be able to pop in tomorrow or whatever, I'm sure. So have a great weekend. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow night, Saturday Night Live. Sunday, I will be here with Emma and the Emma Lumps, possibly Matron remotely. I don't know about that. I don't think we've discussed it. But all good stuff coming up. And then, of course, once the weekend is gone, then there's going to be, well, you lot probably have to go back to work. We're going to be having some adventures, but of course, we'll be taking you with us and sharing pretty much every moment. And the day at the yard should be interesting and potentially memorable. So, yeah, there we go. Good night. God bless. Sleep tight. Have the best day you can tomorrow. Take really good care of yourselves. And if you're lucky and you've got people you love or who love you, make sure to take really good care of them too. And I really hope to see you, if not tomorrow night, 11:30, then Sunday or Monday or whenever you're free to join me. Thank you very much indeed. And on that note, pachu! And indeed, a mini jar of marmalade, bosh!